Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the show. It's myself and lead judges. And of course, we're tonight with Henry and Sean. Oh, hang on a minute.
No.
Where are they? What's going on? We are supposed to be with Henry and Sean, but since they've lost to Wolves, I ain't seen them, if I'm honest with you. They say the boy who cried wolf. Well, I'll tell you what, they're definitely scared of the Wolves because they ain't come back since. No, of course, I'm joking. Henry is moving house and he has got a building site. And Sean, I don't know, maybe he's gone out shopping or something. But judges, what's all this about, mate? They're scared of us.
Little Red Riding Hood, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and well, about Henry, like, you know, I mean, where's he live? Like Buckingham Palace or something? I've never known a bloke to move takes so long to move. Like 2-week move. How many rooms he got in his house? Like, you know what I mean? Obviously, like, you know, he's doing well on his channel, isn't he? Like, if he's like, you know, moved into an 8-bedroom house, you know what I mean? Like, what's he moving his furniture on? His push bike, you know what I mean? Like, unbelievable, like, you know what I mean? So
it is incredible.
Yeah. I don't know how it works, but normally you hire a van, you know what I mean? Like, you know, was he walking it around there or something? I don't know what's going on.
Maybe it is, mate. Maybe he is. I mean, like I must say, it is quite funny. And listen, I spoke to Sean and I said, if you like know Henry tonight, and he said, "Oh, we'll do it again next week, mate." Do you know what? Arsenal are winning, and I ain't speak about it yet, Lee. I ain't
We've got these double figures against them, Dan. You know what I mean? When
Well,
it was 1.3 points, I remember, like, you know, all of a sudden now it's gone into double figures. And,
I remember Sean, he said, "I think we'll finish above Arsenal. I think we'll finish above Arsenal."
I
That was
remember
only a few weeks ago.
I remember Sean, and I was going to have him on this. Oh, on current form, you know what I mean? You've got to have so and so in there, and so and so's in there, and you know,
They do it every year, though, don't they, Tottenham?
I don't think anybody's in there on current form now, like, you know.
On
So
current form, they don't get anyone in. It's quite funny, really.
you know, I don't think they even get anybody making the bench these days. You know what I mean? So no, but like, you know, big up to them. Like, you know, we're only bantering them, but you know,
absolutely.
You know, the cream always rises to the top. There's a saying in that, and you know, Spurs were doing well at one stage, but what I say about Spurs is that you know, and we was in it a little while, but you know, you get a few good results and then you get a few dodgy ones, and you just don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going to get with Spurs. You know, like, you know, beat Crystal Palace easy, but they struggled for some point of it. Like, and then you look at the teams that are, you know, at the very top. They go and beat Crystal Palace 3-0, maybe 3-1, or even 5-0. You know what I mean? Like, you know, that can happen, like, sort of thing. You know, but that's what happens, like, you know. So yeah, there you go. So I heard that. I was just seeing in the chat there a few Liverpool players got injuries today. Like,
Yeah, I'm hearing Gomez and Kenyatta. I mean, they absolutely battered Sparta Prague. It was 4-1, I think, wasn't it? Or was it more than that?
I didn't watch. I think it's 5-1 in the end. I think, like, you know what I mean. So
yeah,
Brighton game. God, blimey. 4-0.
Right, 4-0, man. Like, I've got to say, right? Oh, big up to Flawless, by the way. Make sure you go follow Flawless, man. Make sure you go Sarcasm City TV. Big up Flawless. Shout out Dan Potts. Big up to one of the GOATs lead judges.
Cheers,
big up
man.
to Flawless, man. Let me ask you, right? This Zerbi guy, yeah, or Zerbi. I always call him Zerbi. This Zerbi guy. Yeah. 5 wins in 21. Struggling. But he's tipped to be a Chelsea manager, a Man United manager. Some say after Pep that he might be one. Liverpool as well. I don't get it, Lee. I think he's all right. I just don't get the whole hype with him, man. Like, I don't know if that's harsh on me because I don't think he's a shocking manager. I'm not trying to say that. I look at Brighton and I just think you've held 4 tonight against Roma. Good side. Don't get me wrong. You've held 4 against Luton, 6 against Villa. You've held, was it 4 or 5 the other week against, I can't remember who. And I'm like, 5 wins in 21 games. And by the way, they lost to Wolves in the FA Cup. And there's another Europa League game as well. So I don't know. I think basically what they're doing with Zerbi is what they were trying to do with Pochettino. We all saw what happened with him. Now he's gone to Chelsea. He's been found out, right? I don't know, man. I just think this overhyped stuff, I think he's all right. But to take Man United to the next level or Chelsea to the next level, I wouldn't want him at Arsenal. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I think that it's a little bit harsh. I think like he's got a few players missing and all that, and as well as they'd done last season, a few of their best players were taken away from them, and I feel for a manager like that. You can't keep having your best players being taken away and keep doing it, and some massive injuries as well, So, and I actually watched the game today, and Brighton weren't that bad. You know what I mean? They just
really, I didn't see it, man.
they're in that position they were a couple of seasons ago where they just can't finish their chances, and they were struggling a little bit. I think he's a good manager, but sometimes, when you outstay your welcome, I think realistically, if the opportunities now were last season, he should have took them, So because now he's got to really dig in and do something, and it's going to be tough, but listen, I think he's a good manager. I really do. But listen, we've said this before. Look at Arteta now. Was Arteta a good manager when he had Mustafi and David Luiz at the back? Now he's got Gabriel and Saliba. There is a little bit thing with players as well. You can only get.
I totally get he's got injuries.
Yeah.
They've been depleted at times, but I just think when you're depleted, does that really excuse getting held by 6 and 4s and 5s?
No, well, don't forget Brighton. I think with Brighton, I'm going to be really honest. We're talking Brighton here, they've got a small squad and they're playing European football as well. It must be tough for them. I think that it's all great being in Europe and all that, but certain clubs ain't geared up for it, and I think Brighton's probably one of them, that haven't got that sort of thing. So, listen, to get Brighton to the Europa League on merit of league performances, Dan, you got to tip your hat to them. I always thought that they would struggle.
And this is not me saying that the Zerbi's crap.
I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? People are saying to me that I've got Don, who's a Chelsea fan. I want the Zerbi. I'm like, why do you want him? I think he plays brilliant out from the back, but he's conceding goals left, right, and centre. I'm just looking at their results this season. This is not to slate them, right? This is just to prove my point that I don't know that he's as great as people put out. They've lost 3-1 to West Ham, right? You can do that, but it was at home. 6-1 against Villa. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It wasn't like they went down 10 men or anything. Do you know what I mean? They have drew against the teams like Everton's and Fulham's. That can happen, right? Drew against Sheffield United 1-1 at home. Yeah. They've lost to Chelsea. That can happen. They haven't beaten Burnley at home. Do you know what I'm saying? They couldn't beat Palace. So I look at it and I think you've not had some amazing results here. They lost 4-0 to Luton, mate. I'm just sitting there now thinking, what's going on? They lost 3-0 to Fulham the other day. Good side, Fulham. Don't get me wrong. That can happen. I'm not saying they should beat them, but do you see my point? I'm sitting there.
Yeah.
I don't know,
King
man,
Otto said they're shipping 4 goals.
Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm thinking. Maybe I'm thinking that people are overhyping him more than they actually are. But I just look at him and I think, you look all right, mate. But I don't understand this Man United and Chelsea links and all these. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens with him. I see what you're saying on that. I get that. Results ain't been good for Brighton, but when you look at it, where do you expect Brighton to be at the end of the season, and where should they be? I think he's decent. I don't know if he's the real deal. The only way you're going to find out if he's a real deal, Dan, is if someone takes a punt on him. Listen, I think Pochettino's a decent manager. Don't get me wrong, but he is struggling at Chelsea. There's no two ways about it.
Has he?
It just hasn't really clicked there, And I was talking to my mate, Glenn, who's a Chelsea fan, and he was saying that, it does seem a bit weird that he had the players at Spurs, the young players at Spurs, and got them playing and going. And when you look back on that, a young Harry Kane, a young Dele Alli, had 2 good central defenders, if you remember rightly,
Vertonghen and Alderweireld.
Yeah, Alderweireld and
Also
Vertonghen.
Dembele. I remember Dembele was quality.
Dembele, like, you know, so he had some real good youngsters coming through. Walker and
Danny Rose.
Rose at the back there, like, you know, Ryan was coming through there as well. So he brought on players there, and you know, produced a very, very good Tottenham team. And when you look at it, like, you know, the players that he's got at Chelsea, they should be doing a lot better than what they are. So I don't know if it's the culture or something there, like, you know. And even if they was to get rid of him, it doesn't mean that Zerbi is going to come in there and make them any better, like, you know. I really don't know, like, you know. So it's interesting to see what happens there for Zerbi. I think that teams might just be put off a little bit by what's going on at Brighton at the moment. So you could be right on that one, like, you know.
Yeah, man, we'll see. Listen, let's start with this news that apparently, excuse me, apparently, rumors are Arteta's going to sign a new deal, Lee. I don't know if you've heard anything. I've heard it's pretty much going to be get done, and I think Mikel Arteta's staying at Arsenal. And I wanted to ask you about this situation of managers signing before the season's up, whether you think it's a good thing, a bad thing, and what you think it means to the players, the structure, the transparency of the club. Because for me, there's two ways to look at it. You could get like Arteta to sign a deal next week, right? Let's say, and you think, oh, that's a really good thing for him and for the club, and everyone knows he's staying, and we have got stability at the club, etc. But we could finish the season and it all go wrong, and then people go, did he deserve that? Was he rewarded that before he actually achieved anything? So where do you kind of stay? Because there's a lot of fan bases in difference of opinions here, man.
Well, I think it'd be really not great timing until what happens after Tuesday. I think if we beat Porto on Tuesday night, beat Brentford and beat Porto, I ain't got no problem with it. I really ain't. You know what I mean? Because I think, like, we're playing some wonderful football at the moment. Things are on the up, and I just think it gives everybody that little bit of stability. They know what's where they are and where they're going to be. I hear that Ben White is close to signing a new contract, or has already signed it. It's just about announcement. Tommy Asu as well. So, you know, if Mikel does so, I've got no problems if that is the case. I'm not saying I've got a problem if he signs it and we go out against Porto, but I don't think it's a good look, you know, at Porto. If we go out, I think Porto's massive game, by the way, boys, a real massive. Yeah. Because if we win that, it doesn't. What's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't say, "Oh, right, yeah, we're great in Europe," but a loss would really, like, look at it and go, "God, you know, went out Sporting last season, Olympiacos. We've now gone against Porto," and if I'll be really honest, I'm going to be really honest about this. I'll be massively disappointed because, yeah, we played in the Champions League, but we ain't played what I call a real Champions League side at this moment in time, if I'll be honest, you know. So I think that it's very, very important that we get through that stage of the competition, and then, you know, if you pick up one of the big boys and you progress, fantastic. If you don't, you can go, well, all right, we'll give it a go. So I think it's massive. These two games, by the way, Saturday and Tuesday, are massive. Two home games. I can't remember, and I've been really honest, and you can go, oh, the Liverpool game and everything like that. I can't remember two bigger games for Arsenal back to back for a very, very long while. And people will go, oh, what are you on about Brentford at me? I'll tell you why I'm on about at Brentford, because Brentford's game is massive, bigger than normal, because of what comes after that as Manchester City and Liverpool. Like, you know, if we win on Saturday, we as fans can do what we like on the Sunday. You can watch the game, you can do whatever. Whoever wins, it's a win situation for us. But if we slip up against Brentford, it's a massive, massive blow, and it puts a lot of pressure on Porto going into there. And then really, if things don't work out at Porto, we've got 19 days, is it, to the next time we play? You know, I think these two are massive, massive games for Arsenal. Back to back, I want that Emirates rocking for both games. I really, really do. I just think that this Brentford game also will show us, Dan, if we are the real deal, because because we are at this moment in time expected to win this game. There's a little bit of pressure on this one. We're batting first. We're opening up, there's pressure. You've got to get your job done. I will be fuming if we don't win this game, and then the two teams draw on, because you've got to realise it's like if we get our job done, one of those teams or both are going to drop points, right? If we drop points. It don't really mean it just keep us in the same position.
No, we're going to sit there and be like, what if?
Yeah, and one of the big games, it's a game, an opportunity is gone, and it'd be Liverpool sitting there when we could play Manchester City, So I can't emphasise how big of this game is for me. I'm not going to enjoy Saturday, because for me, it's all about the win. We must win this game. You know what I mean? Like people are saying, 3-4-0. I get that. But for me, it's just get the result, get the 3 points. And listen, if we're 2-3-0 up at half time, I will be like, I'll be on the ladder at half time. I really will be like that.
Yeah, man.
I will.
I'm the same, bro. I'm the same, bro. And I'll tell you what, as well, Judge, right? I look at it and I think, why shouldn't we be? The way we're playing, the form we're in, the form Brentford are in, they've got players out. I know I got Ivan Toney and Mbeumo, but they've got players out injured at the back. I think most of their back line are out injured. Aaron Hickey is out. Even Pinnock is out.
Yeah.
They've got Ben Mee, who's out. So they've got a makeshift back four. We can get behind them, man. Aaron Ramsdale's in goal. He's going to be well up for it, mate. I hope that he gets the atmosphere that he deserves and the kind of reception he deserves as well. But I feel like, a clean sheet for him would be brilliant. It's probably going to be his last game, and I'll ask you about that in a minute. We'll go more into that quick. But I think for me, there's no reason why we can't walk away from this game comfortably winning, Lee. Honestly, I'm not saying we're going to. I'm not going to, do that. But I've gone for a 3-1 win for the pure fact that I think we'll be okay. I just don't think that we will walk away from the Emirates going, oh, my God, what was a shambles of a performance? What are we seeing? What's happening? I don't think Arteta and the players will allow that to happen. I really don't. So that's where I'm at. I'm fairly quietly confident that we'll be okay against Brentford. And I think that we have got the players at the moment in the key positions, as long as he keeps the team the same, which we'll come on to in a minute, to actually go and do that. I really feel like Brentford and Porto, two of the biggest games, is only two of the 3 games we've got in March. And let's be real, we want to go win the Champions League and the Premier League. We can't be dropping any of these games, man. We just got to go and beat them. It's got to happen, man.
Yeah, I agree. And the great thing about it is, this is what we want. This is the excitement we want. Must-win games. I think somebody said there, we must win these games. Every game's a must-win, But there was times not that long ago, and I'll be really honest, when we was going for top 4, when it weren't necessarily a must-win. You know what I mean? Oh, right, we can still make it up or whatever. Now we've gone up a grade, and it is must-win situations. But I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm going to be really honest. I was a little bit nervous going into the Sheffield United game, and after 10, 15 minutes, it was a race. So that's what I'm hoping on Saturday. I'm not going to lie, Dan. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I'm buzzing for it. I think that the game against Porto won't be straightforward. I'm believing in a long night. I think it could go quite long in that. If I'll be really honest, I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as everybody's saying it is.
Yeah.
But I feel that come Tuesday night, I want us to have won both games and everybody going, wow, Arsenal now can relax and we can have a really good time up until that massive game at the Etihad. But, the Etihad is a massive game only if we beat Brentford. And, Porto is a different competition and everything like that. And, as I was saying, I think there's a massive game as well for us, not just for getting into the Champions League again. Dan, I felt last season maybe a problem for us was that if we played a game and then we didn't have another game for a little while So say like we lost to or drew with West Ham, we had to wait another week to Southampton, then another week till we played Man City, another week then after that till we played whoever it was. I think like momentum is like, play on Tuesday. I know we haven't got, but when we come back against Manchester City, whatever happens in that game, we can't dwell on it too much because we've got Luton. Then we've got, I think after that we've got Brighton away, and then the Champions League if we're in the Champions League. But say like we get to Brighton and then we've got a week off next. I don't think that's a good feel. I want us to be playing.
You need momentum towards the back end of the season, 100%. And I think if we make sure we do our job in this month, then we're going to have that. And that's what I want to be seeing, man. Let's bring up this super chat. This one comes in from Sarah. Big up, darling. Says, hi, lads. You're absolutely my favourites. Arteta signing I'm fine with, but wait till Tuesday. Laugh out loud. Hope to get to a game soon and meet you both. Love listening to you. Listen, drop me a line, Sarah, and we'll definitely meet up 100% when you're at the game. And me and Lee will come and have a drink with you 100%.
Look forward to that.
And we'll look forward to it. Chaitanya, big up yourself, bro. If you want to put a question in, guys, just whack a Q in at the start. If it's a super chat, will go to the front like Sarah's. Otherwise, just put a question in with a Q at the start so I know where I can star it. Chaitanya says, I can see where this is going. I think Arteta's the best after Pep and Klopp. Are we setting Arteta up for Premier League dominance after Klopp and Pep are given? After Klopp and Pep, given we add more quality to our squad. Well, it's going to be interesting because one of those is going, Lee, Klopp. Pep Guardiola, I don't think he'll be around forever. But at the same time, the guy's a nutcase and he loves football. So I imagine he'll probably be around for a couple of seasons at least. I think his contract runs out 2025. So he'll have this season and one more. And then I think they'll make a decision. And I also think it will massively make a difference about what happens to Man City with these charges, because that will get sorted out in that time as well. But I mean, are we actually believing that Mikel Arteta can be, if these two are being mentioned as potentially going, is he the next best in the league, or is he not there yet for you, Lee?
Well, no, he's not quite there yet. He's not up to their standards. But listen, I think at the end of it, Arsenal were well and truly over the hill and far away last season from other teams. Liverpool have come back into it, but realistically, we're talking a three-horse race. And over the last 4 or 5 years, let's take Arsenal out of that equation. It has been Liverpool and Man City battling it out the last 3 or 4 years, and City have come out on top. And Liverpool look at it and go, "Well, we had Mo Salah, we had these top players that they had at their prime. Well, they're not in their prime no more. They've gone over the hill a little bit, or he's had to break up their midfield that was fantastic. Arsenal ain't in their prime yet. We've got players in there 22 to 25, 26. This Arsenal team's got 2, 3, 4 years cycle before we start thinking about that. So it could be in our favour. Timing in football's key sometimes. You look at that Liverpool side, they was unfortunate that when they had their players in their prime, so did Manchester City. And I'm talking De Bruyne, who's 32 now, and certain other players that they had. So it could be like a fantastic few years for us. But don't get me wrong, Manchester City will make changes to it all. That Liverpool have made changes to their team. Mo Salah all of a sudden is not as reliable as he was 2 seasons ago, Dan. You know what I mean? He's missing games now. So it could well be. I think Arteta and Arsenal are on the right path. I do believe that. Whether they get over the line or not this season, if they don't, I think it's because you have to say, well, City and Liverpool, whoever does it, you have to give them the credit for it. But I can tell you this now: Arsenal are smashing teams at this moment in time. And it'd be very interesting what happens on Saturday, because don't forget, a couple of weeks ago, Brentford only just lost 1-0 to Manchester City when it was a mistake from at the back. Otherwise, they could have got a draw. And they've caused Manchester City a few problems in the time. So it'd be interesting to see how Arsenal get on from that point. I know you can't gauge on different teams and whatever, but I think we're on the right path. I really do. Players are improving, and it will be really, really interesting what's going on at the moment. Listen, a couple of seasons ago, I'm pretty sure, if Pochettino was about, we might have took him. Potter was one of them that we was looking at. But Mikel, I think now is starting to do it. And the other thing is, what's good about this season, as far as I'm concerned, is that I've seen different things in this season. I didn't think we was great at the beginning, but what we've done, Dan, is we've shown that it wasn't a one-off. I'm not having a go at Newcastle. We've seen, and Newcastle got into fourth last season, and everybody's turning around and saying, "Oh yeah, but they got above their expectations, and that you know, blah blah blah." A little bit of that was put on Arsenal last season, but we've backed it up again with another strong season. Whatever happens. So we'll have to wait and see. You know, I can't stress now how big Saturday and Tuesday are. I can't,
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? It's so
Absolutely.
big. You know, our season could be, well, it could be one way or the other. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I think it is that serious, man. Honestly,
Yeah,
I do, man.
yeah.
Big up to Flawless, man. Says, big up to Flawless in the chat. Says, question: if you beat Brentford and City, do you think Arsenal win the league?
Do you know what? Do you know what? If we beat Brentford on Saturday and then we beat City, I think we will. I think it's getting into the same scenario of '98. Then, you know, when we went to Man United and beat Man United.
Yeah, over Mars.
I
wonder though. There is 2 games that I just Spurs away and Man United away, man. Like, why am I worried about Man United?
If you can go to City, Dan, and beat City, you can go and beat anybody.
Absolutely. But why am I worried about Man United at Old Trafford? I mean, Flawless is United. Yeah, I'm sure he's probably thinking we ain't going to beat Arsenal. But last season they did, and they were rubbish, and they beat us. And like Spurs at their place, I mean, you know what they're going to be like. They're going to do everything they can to.
Well, it's going to be a war zone. But that's what you expect from those 2 games. You know what I mean? Like, if you look at, let's forget about the City game at the moment. But you've got Man United. Look, if we lose to Manchester City, like, you know what I mean, it's going to be difficult. But if you beat Manchester City, like, you know, if it goes our way, so let's just say a scenario goes our way, and we Liverpool and City draw, and then we beat City, we could perhaps afford a draw at Tottenham or Man United. Like, you know, we've got to win one of those games. You know, it would put us in a very, very good position. And what
this is a good point.
Boost
when we were at Old Trafford, we had Sambi in the middle, and now we've got Partey and Rice. Sorry, that is a good point.
Of course it is. You know what I mean? Like, listen, you know, an epoxy decision.
That was a joke.
Well, Martinelli scores, we go 1-0 up. It's a different game. So, listen, you know, every season's different. I don't, you know, I'm going to be really honest. I'm not worried about going to the Etihad. I'm not worried about it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if we beat Brentford, I'm going to be looking forward to going there. Like, you know what I mean? Because I know if we turn up on our day, we can get something from that. You know, I've gone up there last season, Dan, and it was just, you know, it was awful. But I feel that this is a game. Listen, Spurs went up there and nearly beat them 3-3, if I remember rightly. Like, you know, so why can't we? If Spurs can go up there and get 3 goals, Arsenal can go up there and get 3 goals. And we've got a better defence in it. And if I remember rightly, the Spurs boys in the chat will tell us, I don't think Spurs were at fully. I think they were all of those Madison and all that were out at that
Didn't
time.
They play like 2 fullbacks at centre back or something?
I think that they did. I think that, you know, everybody was saying, even my Spurs mates were saying, oh, it's going to be a good iron in here today. And it never was that. So I'm
sure they had Ben Davies and Emerson Royale at centre back. I might got that wrong. King Odor, let us know in the chat.
Yeah,
man. I'm sure they
so listen, they're not. It's not one of those places where you think, wow, you know, it can happen. Like, you know, anything can happen in the game of football. So I'm looking at it and thinking to myself, look, go and beat Man City. You've got a massive opportunity then to win the league, because that would be a massive injection of everything there. Like, you know, beat Brentford, beat Porto, go and beat Manchester City. Wow, we're wow. You know what I mean? Then you've got Luton at home. It could knock the stuffing out of the other. I don't know, Dan. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of it, I still don't. At this moment in time, I don't think Arsenal will win it. If I'll be really honest, at this moment in time, I'm hoping that they will. But if I was a real betting man, I'm going to say we'd probably fall short because of those games. But if we beat Manchester City, I'm chest out. That's it. We're winning it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
That's
reason
how it is for
not
me.
to be. Like, I problem was I did it. I did it last year. We beat Man United, beat Bournemouth in that last kick of the game, and I thought, yeah, I think we can do this. Science telling me I think we're just going to keep going. And then we had the slip ups, and I just hope we've had our blips against the West Hams and Fulhams now. I really do. That's all I can hope, man. This next one, I don't know if you've seen this news today, Kieran. Big up, man. Says Zinchenko linked with Newcastle and Bayern Munich. A player that's injured at the moment. He's obviously not getting the game time as much this year, pretty much due to injury. But Kivior's looking good. Tomiyasu and Timber are there. Do you see Zinchenko leaving? I don't personally, Lee. I think Arteta sees him as a squad player. So what about yourself, bro?
No, 100% not like, you know what I mean? Like, gets himself fit, and I mean fit, because I don't think he's been fit all season, if I'll be really honest. He's not had the season, you know what I mean? He didn't have no pre-season. He had that calf injury in pre-season. It's continued to get in there. What I would say to him now is, which is, I think, at the last couple of occasions, we rushed him back down. No need to rush him back now, if I'll be honest, like, you know. And I'm in the position now is like, when he's fully fit, I think he gets into this team. I'm not saying he will at this moment in time. He's got to work his way back in, but you know, I'm a big Zinchenko fan, and like, you know, lots of criticism from this season, which wasn't there last season up until the Liverpool game. You know, I mean, he got done on that game there. He's been done a couple of times since, but I think he contributes really, really well. And look, listen, I'd rather have him in the squad than not. That's how I feel.
Listen, I'm with you. I think there's a place for Zinchenko and there's a place for Kivior Tomiyasu types, because for me,
Yeah,
I always felt like we needed a left back. Now that Kivior has proved that he can play there with Ben White inverting on the right hand side, it's completely changed what we see as a left back. Because if we were going to be playing inverted left backs only, we'd have a problem like we were having, right? But now that we've actually got Ben White doing the job over there, Kivior can play. If we need an inverted left-sided player, Ben White goes back to right back properly, and Zinchenko does the job. So you need to have a versatility in the squad and actual different players for different games. And I think Zinchenko is one of them, man. HR says, I hope Arsenal keep winning. To be honest, I don't see Liverpool dropping many points. Some divine force favouring them for a quadruple. Arsenal will come second. What are your thoughts? I must say, Liverpool, I think you said it yesterday, Lee, or like before, that, you know, if you had to pick one team to win, it would be Man City over Liverpool, because you don't see him losing many games, Lee.
Yeah, exactly that. I don't see him dropping that many points. So I think that they've got a difficult run. You know, got some difficult games. They've got Everton away, which is a lot difficult a little bit harder for them, slightly harder for them than it is for the others. You know, I'm just putting a neutral head on it at the moment, but I think, you know, Tottenham at home has always been a tricky one for them, but I would think that they'd get themselves over the line in that one at home, particularly at home. And I think, if I'm going to be really honest, Liverpool will look for revenge to fuel that as well, what happened at the Tottenham Stadium. So, but they have a couple of tricky games in there, but I do think that they have the better running than the other two teams. So that is why I'm saying that I'd rather them drop points in this game. Like, you know, you don't know. The thing is with Liverpool and Manchester City that they're very, very dominant at home. They get their job done at home. So it's the away games you're looking at there, and they have better away games than the likes of us and Manchester City, if you want to be honest about it.
Yeah, fair play, man. Someone comes in from Nifan. He says, should we sign Zubamendi? Looks shaky in both legs against PSG in the Champions League. Yeah, I heard about this. I heard about Real Sociedad, PSG, and apparently Zubamendi had a really bad game. But what I'm looking at from what I'm hearing as well is that he actually has some attributes that would really fit this Arsenal side. So as a holding deep line player, I believe it would be a good signing. I think his release clause is like £51 million, 60 million euros, something like that. I'm a fan, so I would get him still from what I've seen, and I still feel that we need a 6 and an 8. I honestly do. If we're looking at the situation of El Neni, Jorginho, parties, futures being up in the air, leaves us with just Rice. So we're gonna have to renew a couple of them, or at least one, and then potentially get 2 more in. So that's where I'm at on that one. Sticking to the midfield, I'll put this one to you, Lee. This comes in from Christian. Would a party Rice Erdegaard midfield dominate against Man City, who will have at the time Rodri, Foden, and De Bruyne? I mean, let's be real. Both of those midfields are electric, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think Partey needs to get up the fitness though first. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
but
that
how's
he's
he
going
going
to
to
in
get
that
that?
time.
How's he going to get that? That's my
I
problem.
don't think he will. No.
You know.
But Jorginho though, I mean, like to be fair
Well,
to him,
Jorginho's done well in every time that he's played against the big boys. So, you know, 60 minutes of Jorginho, 30 minutes of Partey, that's all right. You know what I mean? So, as I say, I don't think that he'll be ready on time. But, you know, look, anything can happen in there. Like I'm just looking at Liverpool's next couple of games, Dan. Just want to go back to this after they play Man City. So they play Man City at home. It's not away for them, like, you know what I mean? So they play Man City at home. Of course, then there's no game for none of us because they're involved in the FA Cup. So when we play on the Sunday against Manchester City, they play on the Sunday as well. Brighton at home. You'd fancy them to win that one, like. Then we've got to go to the midweek fixtures. We got Luton at home. I tell you, Manchester City. Let's have a look. They've got Aston Villa at home, so that's a tough game for them.
Liverpool got Sheffield United at home.
Sheffield United at home. So, you know, I mean, you're looking at it there.
But then it's Man United, Liverpool.
Man United on after that on the 7th. So that will be a tough game for them, like, you know. But I'm looking at it then, and then they've got Crystal Palace at home.
That's a win.
Yeah, Fulham away.
Fulham away. That could be a little bit of a slip up.
Could be a potential.
I don't think it will be.
Skin, but I don't think it will be again. West Ham away.
Could be
difficult, but we have Spurs away that day. You know what I mean? So when they've got a potential banana skin, so have we. Like, you know, we've got Bournemouth at home. They've got Spurs at home. Then on the 11th of May, they go away to Aston Villa.
Yeah,
so
that's their hardest one.
I don't see Liverpool dropping too many points, Dan. I really don't.
I never do. I don't either. But I'd like to think that we won't, Lee. I'd like to think that Arsenal won't. I think we're going to drop points. I'll tell you the games I think we're going to drop points. I think we're going to drop points at the Etihad, and I think we're going to drop points in the North London derby. I think they'll both be draws. And I think we'll win the rest of the games. That's my prediction. Is that going to be enough? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Oh dear, oh dear.
Horrible, isn't it?
It's exciting. Look, come on. You got to enjoy it. That's what it's all about. I'd rather be in that position.
Absolutely. But it is horrible, you know what I mean? Because it means so much.
It makes it very, very nerve-wracking, like, you know. But at the end of the day, just take it one game at a time, and you know, we're focused on Saturday.
Yeah, 100%. This one's quite a good. I love comments like these. Love questions like these. Favourite Arsenal goal of all time? My favourite Arsenal goal of all time is the Dennis Bergkamp goal against Newcastle at St James Park. I don't think it's ever been replicated. Love Thierry's against Man United at Highbury where he flicked it upturned, put over Bartes' head. I love Bergkamp against Leicester. I loved Henry's goal where he took it around the whole Tottenham team and the whole Liverpool team. But I've never seen Dennis Bergkamp's goal replicated, so I'm going to go for that one against Newcastle. That to me, individually, is just class, man. No one's got near it. So for me, it is that one.
Yeah, like favourite, like, you know, I mean, you could go on forever, like goals in cup finals and things like that. But the best goal I've ever seen is Giroud's goal. I think is the best.
The scorpion kick.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best goal that I've ever seen. Most important goal. Ooh. I you know what I mean, probably Wiltord, Old Trafford. That was a massive game. Massive
Wilshere
goal.
against Norwich, that was a quality goal.
Yeah, that was a great goal. Wilshire's one there was a great goal.
In terms of importance, I think this one probably as well at the time. I know it didn't lead to anything, but that was unreal. The Henry goal at the Bernabeu.
Yeah.
That was incredible, and
unfortunately
anything. But
Aaron Ramsey's one at Galatasaray.
Yeah. Galatasaray, what a hit that was, mate.
What a goal that was.
Yeah, that was incredible.
That didn't mean nothing, as you say, like, you know. So
I think in terms of importance, the goals that mean something, the Alan Sunderland goals, Charlie George goals, they just say Sylvain Wiltord goals, probably Charlie Nicholas, probably like Aaron Ramsey against Hull. You know what I mean? Those sort of goals.
Yes.
You know, like
massive goal that was, because that was ended a goal. Yes. Yeah. Very much so.
Alan Smith against Palmer, massive goal.
Massive goal.
And I think if
Michael
you're talking,
Thomas's goal at Anfield.
yeah, I mean
I think
that's the one, isn't it? That is the one for
Yeah.
importance. That is the one. If you talk about importance, but not the best one, in my opinion. In terms of best, it's got to be for me like individual skill, like individual. How the hell's he done that? And for me, it has to be Bergkamp against Newcastle. I ain't ever seen it done, Lee.
No, that was unbelievable. That was unbelievable. I've never seen a scorpion kick again. Like, I'd go along with that. Mesut Ozil goal. Do you remember against
Ludogorets?
Yes, but it worked. It was a great goal.
Quality though, that was
fantastic goals. But like David Rocastle's goal against Tottenham in the semi-final, but memorable.
Not for me, it weren't. That was the year I was born. But I get what you mean.
Tony Adams scoring in '93, memorable.
Yeah.
You can go on and on.
So many, isn't it?
So many. But I'll tell you, ones that I've enjoyed at the Emirates didn't mean nothing at the time. Was still Danny Welbeck's against Leicester. That was incredible. I'll never forget that. And also, I have to say, like for atmosphere-wise and things like that, the goal against Man United this year when Jesus scored. When Jesus scored, that was mad. That was mad, like, you know what I mean? So
I think there's a few at the Emirates, to be fair. Reece Nelson's against Bournemouth last year. That was nuts.
Oh, yes.
Like that was mad. I'll tell you the one that really did go mental at the Emirates as well, which was a bizarre one. I didn't really mean anything in the end, was Thierry Henry's goal against Leeds when he come back.
Yes.
That unbelievable, and I've not gone so mad in my life when I was just written in the stars right by me. It was as well. We come over and celebrate. That's the corner I sit in the corner flag, and the other one. I mean, Henry scored one in the first year against Man United at Emirates, which the header was class. We beat them 2-1. That was unreal.
Arshaven's go against Barcelona.
Arshaven is the one, man, against Barcelona.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Honestly, incredible, man. So many people. What a question! What a brilliant question.
Yeah, brilliant.
That was a really good one. AFC Max, he says, would you want to sign Victor Gyökeres? I did a show on this on my channel last night because we linked with Victor Gyökeres, Sporting Lisbon centre forward, over 30 goals this season. His stats are incredible. Over at Coventry the season before, last year, he got them to the playoff final.
Yeah,
just alone on about 25
really good,
goals.
wasn't he?
Really good player. And I fancy him, Lee. I quite like, look at his stature. He's got a lot about him, all round number 9. I quite like him, Lee.
I was very impressed with Coventry last year. Like, really took them to a different, like Coventry, look at them now, like struggling a little bit because of losing him, So, I go along with that, I mean, I quite like him. And he's actually smashing it.
He is.
Smashing him.
Incredible, mate. Absolutely incredible. Aaron, big up yourself, bro. Says, do you think, like me, we'll know exactly where we stand this season at the end of March? Yeah, I think that's what we've been speaking about, Lee, innit? We'll know at the end of March where we're at. And, we'll either be in and out of the Champions League and we'll be in and out of the title race. I honestly believe that,
I think you said it the other day. I think you said, like, we ain't got a lot of games in March, but it's massive March.
Yeah,
massive March. And it is. I couldn't sum it up any better. It's these next 3 games are defining moments for us. You know what I mean? Like lose on or don't get the result on, and I mean don't get a result. Anything other than a win is not good enough on Saturday. Then the massive game against Porto, which we've got to win, and then we know what happens when we know what. When we go to the Etihad, what's happened the week before, the few games before between Liverpool, I just think that these 3 games are the next, I can't stress how big they are.
Totally agree. It's
a really weird thing, Dan, because win all 3, we're not guaranteed nothing.
I know. It's mad, isn't it?
Lose or draw any of them, we're finished. So that's how massive these games are.
It's crazy, isn't it?
We draw our next 2 games at home, then the league's finished before you go to the Etihad. You know what I mean? Lose or draw against Porto. That's the end of your Champions League campaign. So you know what I mean? We have got to win these next 2 home games. It's as simple as that, And listen, a 2-1 win does us on Saturday. Don't do us on Tuesday night. We've got to win by 2. So listen. I can't stress how much these next two games, how big they are. Like, you know what I mean? And this is where they are massive, and this is what this will tell us if this Arsenal team's ready to change. Because if Arsenal win these two games comfortably, then I'm going to look at that and go, do you know what? We're the real deal. Because I think that there has been pressure on games, without a doubt. You know what I mean? There was pressure on Monday night. There was certainly pressure against Liverpool when we had to get the win. There was pressure against Newcastle because the other teams had won just before that, Dan. Like, you know, this now is a different pressure. These are must-win games.
Huge.
Sending shivers down my spine.
I know, but that's what we want, man. This is where we want to be. This last two questions before we cut to a close. Chaitanya says, would you keep Jorginho for one more season? We can apparently go for a 1 more year deal with Jorginho. Would you do that, or would you upgrade on him, Lee?
I'd upgrade on him, but I'd still keep him.
Yeah, I'd do the same. Exactly the same as me then. That's exactly what I'd do. And if you think Zubamendi's an upgrade, you go get Zubamendi, Jorginho and Rice. And then you have, and Partey. And then you have Jorginho, Rice and one more box-to-box kind of number 8 type player. That's what I would do personally. But we'll see. We've got a long way to go before the summer. Let's take this last question. I like this. It's not a question. It's a statement. And the reason I put it last is because I think it's a really good statement. Jay says, whoever wins this league this season will win it by 1 point or even goal difference. Can you imagine? That could happen, Lee.
I think it could. Well, exactly could happen like that. I'll be disappointed if it didn't. I think it's going to go to the last game. It wouldn't surprise me if all three can win it at the end of this. At the end,
yeah,
at the last game of the season, all three.
And even if one, I honestly believe, even if one isn't there, I think the other two will go. There'll be 2 teams. I think. Yeah. Maybe 3 that go to the last game. I think it definitely. I don't think it'll be 1 until the last day. Is what I'm getting at. So yeah, let's hope it's Arsenal, mate. Let's hope it's Arsenal.
And going into that last game, you've got. I think you've got to be in the position where if you win, you've won it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't be relying on anything else.
No.
You can't be doing what we did at Anfield that time, or what like the. Yeah. Oh, mate, it's great. I mean, like, let's just not get too ahead of ourselves, I suppose, yet. Long way to go. But with a few games left, you're going to be sitting there going, oh, what game can we do it? What game can it be won? There's so much. This season is going to be mad, honestly. There's so much riding on this. And there's so many games like this weekend. I've been looking forward to this weekend for a long time, Lee, because we beat Brentford. I'll be having a very nice Mother's Day on Sunday.
100%.
With the family. And we'll be eating and drinking, and we'll be watching, and we'll be chilling.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. But we can only do that if we beat bloody Brentford on Saturday. And that's
exactly that. It's all on Saturday for me. You know what I mean? 5:30. Let's see how it goes from there.
Facts. Listen, people, thanks so much for your super chats. Thanks so much for your questions. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back over the weekend.
Hold on, Ben.
Oh, hang on. Oh, no, we're not. Oh, we're not. Hang on a minute.
Yeah, come on. Don't forget my...
I nearly forgot.
Yeah, you nearly forgot my...
There's another. What is it? They've done it again.
They've done it again. The football prizes have done it again. Like, you know what I mean? This time, they've gone and done it with Declan Rice. I'm going to say this now. I'm a massive, as you know, massive Martinelli fan. But this player now is fast becoming my favourite. Like, you know, a huge Arsenal competition. Declan Rice signed custom LED framed Arsenal shirt with that built-in TV stuff again, like, you know, which is unbelievable. And it's a prize that you can win for just $4.95, like, you know. But there's more. Not only can you win this beautiful piece with Declan Rice, it's one of a kind, Dan. It's one of a kind. Well, you know, listen, I'd love that up on my wall, like, you know, the 41 in red and white as well, like, you know. I'm going to have to say, if it carries on the way it's going, I might have to go and get this green shirt as well. Like, I don't really want to, but you know, I might have to go and get it. But it's a one of a kind red and white shirt. But also, you can win the man of the moment, Kai Havertz signed shirt as well. And this is an unusual one. I'm going to say was one I quite liked him. Danny Ceballos signed and framed boot. Like, you know, I mean, I quite like Danny Ceballos. Like,
Danny Ceballos, yeah.
Danny Ceballos.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like the song as well, like, you know what I mean? But listen, a chance to win. Look, get on this one, guys, because it's only for £4.95. You got a chance to win signed shirt. I think the man of the moment at the moment, Declan Rice. I'm loving him. I've got to say, Dan,
Oh,
I'm absolutely loving him, like, you know what I mean? So there you
I'm in
go,
love
guys.
with him,
Get
mate.
on it.
£4.95, people, get on it. £4.95, you can win that. Jeez, that's well worth it, man.
That's
I
at football
absolutely love.
prizes, footballprizes.co.uk. Get on it. Get your chance to win that. Fantastic prize like Declan Rice. I think it's going to be an Arsenal legend, Dan. I really do. If he carries on going as he is, like, you know.
Well, listen, he could be already if he wins the Premier League and Champions League. That's for sure. I love Declan Rice. Make sure you get in for that prize. Football prizes. Make sure that you are in it to win it. Lee, I'll let you have the last word and see us out, mate.
I am going to say, like, you know, if Arsenal win the league and Kai Havertz gets another 5 goals and another 5 assists, Donna Potts, you will be getting the Kai Havertz shirts, right? from me, like, you know what I mean? There you go. If Arsenal win the title, and I expect to see you wearing that at the Emirates every single
If we
game.
win it, she
If
will. If we
we
win
win
it, she will. I'll tell you, she
yeah.
will. She won't care.
And
If
then
we
I
win it.
want like another on the front of it. I was wrong. There you go. Like, you know what I mean?
Love
Listen,
it,
guys,
man.
have a fantastic never. Have a fantastic weekend. Listen, all the mums out there, listen, have a fantastic day, Mother's Day on Sunday. I hope you get spoilt rotten and Donna's never wrong, like, you know what I mean? We shall see, Donna. We shall see, like, you know. And listen, all the mothers have a fantastic Mother's Day and treat your mums well. Let's pray that Arsenal do the business on the Saturday and we can all have a lovely mothering Sunday. Take care, guys.